Everything that is not reality is a mode of recollection. The present has no memory. Why then do we attempt to remember it? Newman, do you remember saying all our best moments are a rehearsal for the rapture to come? Do you? In the morning, we took the AVE Madrid to Cadiz. We never stopped talking. We had long conversations about Bertolucci, Antonioni, the Aventura, John Malkovich, and Rumi. You ate half a bag of warm oranges, and me, I listened to the sound of the train. On the Tarifa jet ferry, you smoked the last pack of Camels. We both finished the Aruja in our 7-Up bottles. Then we overheard a fat Turk in a white flannel suit say, "It's the end of an era. Paul Bowles is dead." And you kept repeating that phrase, Newman, like a mantra. Everything appeared crowned in a halo of pathos, or at least so it seemed. With our faces to the breeze, you said, "The Med is a sea of blue strings," but it looked pale and purple to me. And you spoke of plans, of books, reading the poems of Robertson Jeffers and Wallace Stevens, and of desert dreams. Newman, I never believed a word of it, not one. You mentioned writing novellas in Tangiers or Marrakesh, but instead you smoked the Moroccan hashish. But you never broke that promise, while I bartered for the best of blue rugs, living off calamari and almonds. In those long, languid afternoons I thought of Matisse and Delacroix, my favourite romantic painter. After Turner, maybe. Then we would get lost in the labyrinthine alleys of old Tangiers. You were still... You were still fingering that tattered old copy of Sheltering Sky. Increasingly you spoke of a desire to follow in the footsteps of your hero, impatient with civilization, and, as you said, its pathological quantifications of experience to the convenience of measurability, whatever that meant. We strode the boulevard for the first few days. The one in the French Quarter, you know the one, parallel with the beachfront. And there was a few girls, but Inouye moved us deeper into the city. And you said Imperial Tangier reminded you of a provincial French town, like Niort or La Rochelle, or one of those we had visited in Le Midi. But I didn't agree. The lens of the clicking camera buzzed. Snap, snap. Do you remember going to the Grand Souk every morning? Pomegranates, sunflowers, honey, apricots, and Arabic coffee for breakfast? Newman, do you remember the Rehad? It had yellow walls, bright as grapefruit, and a door as dark as death. It was next to the Cine Alcazar. Have you watched The Brick and the Mirror and the films of Kurdistani? If you wanted to stay in the Continental in the Medina for the views over the harbour, and we sat in the veranda, contemplating it, and the spies were everywhere, just like Bowles had said. Do you remember the white gates of the old town? Like it was a crime. Do you remember the perpetual? But soon you were sick of all those Tangiers, special medieval wines, lost in the tight lanes and the blind alleys. You must remember climbing those steep steps, or the little children, rivers of laughter you called them, looking over the Strait of Gibraltar, blue as a bird's dream, as you would say. The curse is done by those who fear it most, an old Berber told you. It made sense to me. And Newman, do you remember that riad? The yellow walls and the probably as bright as grapefruit, and a door as dark as death itself. But Newman, you can't find what you're looking for until you know what it is that you want. Does happiness make us happy? Always seeking the mystery, like it was your holy bread. Well, I found mystery, just like Wilke, with his flamenco dancers on fire, his Black Panther and his gliding swans, or Dylan Thomas. I found a flash of bliss in a woman's thighs as well. I'm a man, and that is my mystery. And you had to be like St. Anthony, going into the wilderness. But we can never free ourselves from the determinism of believing that we are free. You said you wanted to understand the nexus of time and desire. Desire is an infinite horizon we can never reach. And so you left the violet embrace of Tangiers and the ancient caress of its timeless alley, and you wanted to test your wings on the abyss. You had nothing to lose, and people with nothing to lose are beyond our control. Tame the thunder. The safest place is inside the storm. But will the worm in Adam's spine become a rose? You said the truth must suffer the darkness if the world is to be illuminated. And there is no advantage in the truth, and so the world remains indifferent. And I told you, civilization is the defense of innocence. And you replied, but money is barbarism sterilized by commerce. When did you become so cynical? What fullness do you seek in such absence? In your world, even God is alone. You would make him homeless, evict him from heaven, bring the presence among us, but who would recognize him? I remained in the cafes of the Casbah, drinking shisha and saffron tea, eating moussaka and some stew. I'm a man, only a man, picking up the tourists in the Continental. Now I know the price you pay for living without meaning. It's despair. The price we pay for living with meaning is doubt. With doubt we know reason's presence, but despair is doubt made irrational. And I admit that, my friend. Faith is the investment we make in life. I'm still a slave to convenience. I admit that, Newman. I still take the Americans and the German girls to the cinema. But a life that offers no alternative and promises no repentance leads to insanity. And I still visit my odalisque behind the flaking grey door, and I still seek the presence in St. Andrew's Church, praying for your safe passage, or maybe more, whatever that may be. But does happiness make us happy? So go and search beyond the dry valley, past the cork oaks and the tamarinks and acacia and the cedar forests. Go beyond the dunes of tomorrow and the red land at our hollowed hard root. Seek out the valleys of shadow, deep with doubt between the peaks of our faith. Rise into the pure land, Newman, and inhabit both worlds, like Adam. You must be bilingual, a tongue of paradise and one for the world. A poet's tongue is forked with a serpent's beauty. The object of love is the source of transcendence. Subject, object, inside, outside are made obsolescent. Everything is external to the self. Newman, I once remember you saying that if you were designing the universe, you would hardwire death into its molecules. What, after all, is life without death? It is the unseen force that gives life its significance, just as silence colours the meaning of all our words. Life is a trembling skin stretched over a canyon of death, and prayer is our scaffolding over the abyss. That endless balance and interminable tension between our desire for life and our fear of death. Can love somehow subsum them both? And you met a dervish, a fakir, in the Sahara. He told you, it's by living for others that we live ourselves. and the truth happens when the mind stops watching. To know the truth, you must see without the mind. But these are only words. Words are those things that the mind uses for what it cannot understand. When love is here, then why speak the name of God? Why speak at all? If the presence is among us, then why name it? But what else did your Sufi say? The soul comes from a world of knowledge, and the mind from a world of action. The marriage of knowledge and action is liberation. And the Sufi said, we must use experience to transcend experience. And he spoke of love and of sacrifice, and how sacrifice is the proof of love. The complete sacrifice is the sacrifice of oneself. And if we smash the darkness together, then out of that annihilation, a light will come. Our hearts are burning suns, and the sun is a burning heart. Everything is dancing, all the spinning energy, all existence, all being. We are the dancers, light whirling out of the void.